Student, we have started the transition and inner transition element, and now we are going to forward for the fourth part of this topic. In continuing our D block element, the one more important property is left behind. It is the formation of alloy. D block element or transition element can form various kinds of alloy. Alloy means what? It is the combination or homogeneous mixture of many metals. As D block elements are metals, they have a tendency to form the alloy. Transition metal forms alloy where atoms of one metal are distributed randomly in the lattice of another metal. The metals with similar radii and similar property readily form alloys. There are two types of alloys, ferrous alloy and non-ferrous alloy. Firstly, ferrous alloy. Ferrous alloy have atoms of other element distributed randomly in atoms of iron in the mixture. As the percentage of iron is more, they are called ferrous alloy. The second one is non-ferrous alloy. They are formed by mixing of atoms of transition metal other than iron with a non-transition element. The example for non-ferrous alloy is a brass. It is the alloy of copper and zinc. Now let us discuss about the new point, that is the potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7. It is an oxidizing agent. The chemistry of this potassium dichromate is included in your syllabus. Firstly, we'll see its large scale production, and then chemical properties, physical properties. We'll discuss also the uses of potassium dichromate. Mineral chromite FeOCr2O3 is a starting material for manufacture of all chromates and dichromates. So here, for large scale production of potassium dichromate, we are using chromite ore. For large scale production, which we called as an extraction, there are 4 steps for the production or preparation. The first step includes the concentration of ore. Here the mineral chromite is pulverized, that means its a fine powder is obtained, and then its a concentration is done, means a mixture of finely powdered chromite is concentrated by washing with current of water in hydraulic classifier. Heavier chromite ore settle at the bottom while lighter gangue particles carried away by water. Step 2, roasting. Roasting means it is the oxidation in presence of oxygen is called roasting. Here in the second step, that is roasting, chromite ore is roasted by using sodium carbonate, that is also called as a soda ash, and quicklime in reverberatory furnace in free supply of air. Carbon dioxide is evolved and sodium carbonate is also formed over here. The function of quicklime is to keep the mass porous and prevent fusion. So the reaction here is 4 of FeOCr2O3, that is a chromite ore, react with 8 molecules of Na2CO3 plus 7 of O2, which gives twice of Fe2O3 plus 8 molecule of Na2CrO4 plus 8 molecules of CO2 gas is evolved. In step 3, sodium chromate is converted to sodium dichromate by using concentrated H2SO4. The sodium chromate is treated with concentrated H2SO4 in step 3. So the reaction is twice of Na2CrO4 plus H2SO4 giving Na2Cr2O7 plus Na2SO4 plus H2. The last step, that is fourth step, include the sodium dichromate is converted to potassium dichromate. When a hot saturated solution of sodium dichromate is mixed with potassium chloride. Sodium chloride separates out, followed by separation of red triclinic crystals of potassium dichromate. Na2Cr2O7 plus twice of KCl will give K2Cr2O7 plus twice of NaCl. Now let us discuss the physical properties of K2Cr2O7 potassium dichromate. As you can see, K2Cr2O7 is a orange colored crystal. It is having red prismatic crystals. Its specific gravity is 2.676 and the melting point of potassium dichromate is 696 Kelvin. It is moderately soluble in the cold water but highly soluble in hot water, but it is insoluble in alcohol. Let us discuss the chemical properties of potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate has oxidation number of chromium +6, and we know when the oxidation state or oxidation number is higher, that compound will act as an oxidizing agent. So here potassium dichromate acts as a powerful oxidizing agent. For this reason, it is used as a primary standard in volumetric analysis. K2Cr2O7 when acidified with H2SO4, K2Cr2O7 plus 4 of H2SO4, the reaction happens to form Cr2SO4 thrice plus K2SO4 plus 4 of H2O plus 3 nascent oxygens are liberated over there. Now this acidified K2Cr2O7 is used to oxidize FeSO4, Hi and SO2 as follows. See the reaction A. Twice of FeSO4 plus H2SO4 will give Fe2SO4 thrice plus H2O. Twice of Hi plus nascent oxygen will give H2O plus I2. SO2 plus acidified K2Cr2O7 will give H2SO4. Now let us discuss the primary and secondary alcohol oxidation with acidified K2Cr2O7. This will firstly give aldehyde or ketone and then it will turn into acid. So this reaction is very important and it is also included in the topic aldehyde and ketones also. So repeated reaction we are going to see here. Ethyl alcohol oxidized to acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is oxidized to acetic acid. Now the second reaction will see the secondary alcohol, that is isopropyl alcohol, when react with K2Cr2O7 H2SO4, that means acidified K2Cr2O7, it will form firstly acetone and then it will obtain acetic acid. Let us discuss the uses of potassium dichromate. As we have discussed earlier, it is a strong oxidizing agent. This is the first use of potassium dichromate. Second, it is used in manufacture of chrome alum, which is important compound used for tanning of leather and dyeing of fabrics. Third, in manufacture of pigment. Fourth, in manufacture of ink. 5, in detection of chloride ion by chromium chloride test. 6, it is used as important volumetric reagent for estimation of ferrous ammonium sulfate FAS and I2. Now the second compound we are discussing here, the chemistry of potassium permanganate KMnO4. The ore used here for manufacture of potassium permanganate is pyrolusite ore, which is having the formula MnO2. MnO2 is a starting material for the manufacture of potassium permanganate. Pyrolusite is first converted into potassium magnate and this potassium magnate is then oxidized to potassium permanganate. Now let us discuss the conversion of pyrolusite into potassium magnate. This question will be asked for the 2 marks for the manufacture of potassium permanganate. Step first, when pyrolusite is fused with potassium hydroxide KOH in presence of air, magnite is obtained MnO2 plus 4 of KOH. The reaction happens to form twice of K2MnO4, that is potassium magnate plus H2O. Now this potassium magnate, that is K2MnO4, is oxidized to KMnO4, that is potassium permanganate, as follows: twice of K2MnO4 plus O2 giving KMnO4. Properties of KMnO4. First property, it is purple crystalline solid soluble in water at room temperature. At 473, it decomposes to MnO2 and potassium magnate, that is K2MnO4. See the reaction. Twice of KMnO4 giving MnO2 plus O2 plus K2MnO4. Now the second reaction with concentrated H2SO4. KMnO4 on reaction with concentrated H2SO4 gives Mn2O7, which is an explosive oil. The reaction is twice of KMnO4 plus H2SO4 will give KHSO4 plus Mn2O7 plus H2O. Now the third reaction. KMnO4 is a strong oxidizing agent. Alkaline KMnO4 is called as a Bayer's reagent. This Bayer's reagent is useful for detection of unsaturation in the organic compound. The reaction is CH2 double bond CH2 plus H2O will give ethylene glycol. In the second reaction with acidified KMnO4, H2S is oxidized to H2O plus sulfur, SO2 is oxidized to H2SO4.